I warned you it was going to take me a couple of minutes to get from the hall where I was at, where we started with our first Facebook Live, to the hall where the German luxury brands are located. Hi, I'm WWJ Auto Beat reporter Jeff Gilbert at the Paris Auto Show, where the two global reveals are actually from German luxury brands. Let me turn things around a little bit here. And this is the BMW stand, where maybe you can hear the French behind me, and they're showing a video about the new 3 Series, which many people say is the most significant global reveal here at the Paris show. French brands, of course, aren't global. They don't sell in the United States, and the American brands are not here, and the Asian brands really didn't have any big global reveals. For people who wonder what the new BMW 3 Series looks like, this is it. Now, the 3 Series is a very important vehicle for BMW. It's kind of the classic sports sedan. This is actually the 7th generation of that. And my understanding is it has a lot of new technology, including technology that pretty much takes over most of the driving while you're in traffic jams, and technology to help you back out of a parking space. It actually remembers how you drove in and reverses that, which is kind of cool. This is the new BMW Z4. That's their classic 2-seat roadster, and they unveiled this at the Pebble Beach Concours this year, again showing that auto shows aren't the only place where important vehicles are revealed. You can see it's an international show. Crew here appears to be from China, doing a story about the BMW Z4. Let's move on. We are across from Land Rover and Jaguar. They have no new products here in Paris. Yesterday they had a couple of classic vehicles. They are not here right now. Of course, Jaguar in particular has a lot of cool new products, including the I-Pace, which is an electric SUV that has just been introduced in Europe, and it's being introduced here in the States. Now, time to hike down this hall a bit. Let me talk to you as I hike. Excuse me if I don't look you in the eye or in the camera lens, because as you can see, I could quickly run into anybody. Just to reset this, I'm WWJ Auto Beat reporter Jeff Gilbert at the Paris Auto Show, second of 3 Facebook Lives today, because we're going through the 3 main halls here where car makers have product, and I'm trying to give you some of the highlights. I cannot show you everything at this show, but I can give you a feel. We are now walking up on a car maker that's very important, that you might have seen at the show in Detroit, GAC. They're a Chinese car maker that has got a lot of investment. They want to be the first global Chinese car maker. They're actually in the process of setting up dealerships in the United States. They had a big presence at last year's auto show in Detroit, or should I say the auto show in Detroit earlier this year. They are planning another big presence, I understand, next year. So they're serious about trying to make inroads in the U.S. market. On the subject of other new car makers, there's a stand for Tesla. Now, Tesla has generally been hit or miss at auto shows. They're at some, they're not at others. They've been in Detroit some years, not in Detroit others. I assume, having not talked to anybody from Tesla, because they don't have any top executives or any announcements here, but the assumption is that they are here because this is a big show for electric vehicles. A lot of European brands are unveiling vehicles that are said to be Tesla fighters. So I think they felt they had to show the brand. And technically speaking, the other interesting thing about Tesla is they are the only American car maker here. General Motors, of course, dropped out of Europe a couple of years ago. Ford is not here because it's too expensive. Fiat Chrysler, which is a global car maker, not having a presence of any of its brands here, even the European Fiat brand, because they say they don't have anything to show. I remember the little smart cars being on the roads here in France. There's still quite a few of them here, but not as many as we saw in the past. Mercedes is the other car maker that has a number of global reveals here. Let me show you something interesting. They have several variants of their A-Class here. Now the A-Class is the smallest Mercedes, but it's not nearly as small as it used to be. It's actually grown up quite a bit. It's coming to the US later this year, and instead of being a little mini car like it used to be, just a little bit above a smart car, this is something that also is going to come and try to be a competitor with something like the small Audi A3 that we sell in the US. Mercedes always has big stands at this show. In the Frankfurt show in particular, they actually have an entire hall there. So it is very important for them. Now, they have a cool concept called the Vision EQ Silver Arrow. This is a concept of an electric race car, and electric motors are very powerful, so electric race cars could certainly be very fast. But they actually do have an electric car that's going to go on sale here. This is the EQC. It is an electric crossover. Again, expected to be very much a competitor for Tesla, just like the Audi e-tron that was introduced, and a couple of other EVs. Now, let's walk over here a little bit to show you the other really important global reveal from Mercedes. And yeah, they're talking about sports cars, electric cars, small cars, but globally these days it is all about SUVs, and this is the new Mercedes GLE, which again will be sold globally, both here in Europe and back in the States. So that is going to wrap up our second of 3 Facebook Live videos. Let me wander down to hole number 1, where we will resume as soon as I get there.